Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 13. So, we are continuing on, and I already found out something. I found out a spoiler. I don't know how big it is. I don't know any big details or anything. I don't even know, like, the specifics. All I know is that this next arc was apparently switched around with the arc after it. Like in the manga, these two arcs are like switched around and they're doing it differently in this one. Which is interesting. I don't even know the names of the arcs, mind you. I have heard that they're switching them around for some reason. Um, which actually makes me surprised I haven't heard the names of the arcs because I feel like that would be a big deal, but luckily I've managed to avoid it. Um, just like I managed to avoid most of spoilers for this somehow. Most. I do know a few things coming in the future. Um, but I wonder what that's going to mean. Switching the arcs around? Like, what kind of effect is that going to have on the story as a whole? Is it going to matter? I don't know. Apparently, from what I've heard, both of these arcs should still be gotten to during this season, so that's interesting that we're going to have 3 arcs in season 5. Which means that either these next 2 arcs aren't as long, or, well, actually, that's got to mean that they won't be as long as this last one was. Um, but I'm just wondering what the hell is going to happen in them and why are they switching them around? I guess we'll find out. But another thing I've been hearing a lot of people saying recently, and I want to touch on, is I've seen a lot of people saying on social media that this season has been boring so far. And I'm just like fucking losing my mind over here, like thinking like, what the fuck are you talking about? How could you find any of this boring? This first arc in this season has been fantastically interesting. It's been wonderfully exciting and fascinating and fun. The amount of depth and additional growth that it's given to our characters, the amount of exciting implications that it has on the series as a whole, it's it's been much more than just exciting and fun. It's been important. It hasn't been boring in the slightest. I feel like these are people who are only here for the high action villain fights. Like these are people who only care about the big villain hero versus villain stuff. And don't actually care about the massive, important, and exciting character development and story development and just all of that amazing stuff we've seen in this first arc. It's just like that's the only way I can understand even slightly how anyone would be able to call this first half of the season boring. It's just it flabbergasts me that someone would find that boring though. Even if I can somewhat see like their reasoning why, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. This is like top tier exciting anime stuff right now. I mean, I don't understand. But I have been seeing that posted a lot. I know Alonzi, another reactor, has been mentioning that on Twitter, for example. Um, so that's a thing, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just excited to see where this goes because there is a mention of something by oh God, what is his name? Present Mike. Um, Briefly last episode, we got confirmation that Shinso will join the hero course, but we don't know what class yet. And I'm just wondering, where are we going to go from here? Um, Especially with Deku like maybe training to be able to bring out Black Whip, even if only temporarily. There's so many things that this first arc in this season had introduced us to, and it's like, again, how can you say this is boring? Like, my God, people. Some of the most exciting My Hero's been. Honestly. But, anyways, I'm very interested to see where this goes next, so we're just going to get started and hope for the best. So, yeah, let's do so. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Whew. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, there's a few things about this episode, notably that the work studies are starting back up again. And in that regard, I do want to say I forgot to check for an end credit scene in the reaction. And there was one. So I apologize that you didn't see my reaction to that. I ended the reaction too early. I just didn't even think about whether or not there would be an end credit scene. So let's talk about that real quick here. So in the end credit scene, it's basically just the end of the Christmas party, and Todoroki goes up to Bakugo and Deku asking if they'd like to join him for their work studies at Endeavor's agency. So that must be where this next arc is heading then. Them working together with Endeavor's agency. So that should be interesting. Definitely a big moment that I wish I had gotten there, but oh well. Either way. So yeah, the work studies are starting up again, so this time it's more of a requirement than a request. And we're finding out that the school's actually being forced to do this after the events of 9 days ago with the crazy laughing dude. Which I assume we're going to find out about at some point. If you know like what the deal with all of that is, do not tell me. No spoilers. Because this seems like this is going to be a big deal, and I do not want to be spoiled on this. So no spoilers in the comments. Do not tell me anything about that incident. We'll find out when we get there. In the meantime, so this episode had a couple notable things with it. Obviously, there was the Christmas party, but there was also some training, I guess you could say, some interview training kind of mashed in there as well. So those are the two main parts of it. So let's talk about those. The interview training with Midnight and Mount Lady. So they're basically just working on interviews, and we don't get to see a lot of it. It's mostly just skimmed through. But we see a couple examples how they handle it, such as Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku. Todoroki is very stiff and serious and takes things way too literally, basically Todoroki. Bakugo is way too aggressive and everything, Bakugo. Deku is the one who's a little more surprising. he is so excessively nervous that he's not understanding how to handle anything, and he's just kind of freezing up, and then he begins muttering to himself because he can't handle the pressure and everything. And again, I don't know if it's just the fact that he is like doing a mock interview here, or if it's just the idea of doing an interview like that as a hero, or if it is also more along the lines of just the fact that he's that close to Mount Lady. Because honestly, being that close to Mount Lady is like, yeah, that would make anyone nervous. I mean, she hot. um, but yeah, that's interesting. Because I would think this would be something he would be prepared for, knowing him. But I guess not so much. So that's definitely interesting to see. Um, and then we have the Christmas party at the end. So it's Christmas Eve. They're having a party. They have a Secret Santa exchange, and even Ari gets to come, and it's really fucking cute. Ari getting the holidays mixed up in her little Santa suit is really adorable. But everyone's having fun, and this was very much still another intermediary episode, just kind of bridging the gap between arcs, but also like kick-starting the idea for future stuff with the entire thing, with the work studies being brought up and everything, as well as the 9 days ago incident that we got a brief glimpse into with the Laughing Man. So definitely some stuff that is definitely exciting coming up in the future. But yeah, there's not actually too much to talk about because most of this was just intermediary silly stuff. Ida in that full Santa get up with the beard and everything is just fucking hilarious. And everyone's just so adorable in the Santa outfits. It's like everyone makes it look good. Literally all of them make it look good. Sue, Uraraka, Aoyama, Kirishima, all of them look good in the Santa outfits. Whether the green or the red doesn't matter. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was nice. It was nice, calming, relaxing, and fun. But definitely was setting up a lot for the future. So I'm interested in seeing where that goes. So next episode we might get a new opening then, if this was still intermediary. So yeah, we'll see about that though next week. But like I said, there's not really much else to talk about. It was a very simple episode. Um, and the only big stuff to discuss, like there's not enough to actually talk about yet. Though it is going to be interesting to see Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki work together under Endeavor's agency. That's going to be really fascinating. We did get to see Bakugo, though, seemingly concerned over Best Jeanist, which is really interesting, over him being missing and all. So that's really interesting to see. And we also see the fact that because Centipeter has taken over Night Eye's agency and everything, they just don't have the time at the moment to accept anyone, and Gran Torino can't still. So yeah, it's interesting that things are kind of working out in that regard to specifically set up this trio here. But I also like some of the other stuff we heard, like we did hear that Sue and Uraraka are going to be working with Ryukyu again. And so it's like, that's fun. I hope we get to see a little bit of that. That would be cool. Mostly just because I really like Ryukyu. She's really, really hot, and I just like her character. I just want to see more of her. But yeah, in all seriousness, it's like, again, fun episode. Not much happened, but I'm interested to see where the things that did happen bring us into the future. So, in the meantime, thank you all so much for tuning in. And remember, no spoilers. I do not want to be spoiled on any of this big stuff coming up, especially on the entire 9 days ago incident. That seems very important, and I don't want to know what's going on. So, tell me your non-spoilery thoughts down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.